The truth is dangerous. But in Port Charles, the truth can destroy lives. Right now, one woman is living with a secret that could shatter everything she has built. And one man holds the power to expose it all. Willow Cain thought the nightmare was over, she thought the trial was behind her, she thought the world would move on. But she was wrong. Because somewhere out there, Jack Brennan is holding a weapon that could ruin Willow's life forever. And if he decides to use it, nothing in Port Charles will ever be the same again. Willow has tried to stay calm. On the outside, she's doing everything she can to appear strong and composed. But inside, she's terrified. Every time her phone rings, every time someone knocks at the door, she feels a wave of fear rising in her chest. Because she knows something most people don't. Her freedom didn't happen by luck. It happened because someone made a deal. A very dangerous deal. And now that deal is beginning to fall apart. Not long ago, Reeves stepped in when Willow's future was hanging by a thread. The trial was spiraling out of control. Evidence was mounting. And the most damaging piece of all was something almost impossible to escape. Traffic camera footage. Footage that could show exactly what happened the night Cain was shot. If that video had reached the jury, Willow's life would have taken a completely different path. There would have been no freedoms, no fresh start, no second chance. But somehow that footage disappeared. Just like that. Gone. The jury never saw it. The prosecution never used it. And Willow walked free. At the time it felt like a miracle. But miracles rarely come without a price. Behind the scenes, Nina had made a deal with a very powerful man. Jack Brennan's. And Brennan doesn't do favors. He makes transactions. Cold, calculated, dangerous transactions. In exchange for making that footage disappear, Brennan wanted something in return. Something only Nina could give him. Information. More specifically, information about Valentin Cassadine. Brennan wanted to know where Valentin was hiding. And the only person who might know the truth was Valentin's daughter, Charlotte Cassadine. So Nina agreed. She promised Brennan she would find a way to get Charlotte to reveal Valentin's location. At the time, Nina thought she could manage it. She believed she could protect Willow while still keeping things under control. But now that plan is collapsing. Because Brennan has started making something very clear. If Nina fails to deliver, the deal is over. And when the deal is over, the footage comes back. Brennan has reminded Nina of that fact in ways that are impossible to ignore. His warnings have grown darker, sharper, more threatening. He hasn't raised his voice. He hasn't made dramatic threats. He doesn't need to. The message is simple. Find Valentin or Willow's life explodes. And Nina knows Brennan is not bluffing. Meanwhile, Willow has now learned the truth about what Nina did. And the moment she understood what was really holding her freedom together, everything changed. Suddenly the ground beneath her feet didn't feel stable anymore. Her future isn't secure. Her career isn't secure. Her family isn't secure. Because if that traffic camera footage resurfaces, the entire world will see something devastating. It will look like Willow Cain got away with shooting Drew. And in the court of public opinion, that could be worse than any trial. The headlines would be brutal. A rising political figure. A woman presenting herself as a devoted mother and public servant. But secretly a woman who escaped justice. For Willow, the fallout would be catastrophic. Her position in Congress would almost certainly disappear overnight. Her reputation would collapse. And even more terrifying, she could lose custody of her children. Everything she has fought to protect could vanish in an instant. But there is another layer to this story. Because someone else already knows the truth. Someone who has been watching Willow very carefully. Jens Sidwell. Sidwell is not just another powerful figure in Port Charles. He is a strategist. A man who understands how to control people, how to position them, and how to use them when the time is right. And right now, Willow Cain is extremely valuable to him. To the public, Willow looks perfect. A caring mother. A respected voice. a woman with influence and political power. But Sidwell knows something the rest of the world doesn't. He knows the secret. He knows what really happened the night Drew was shot. He knows Willow walked away from that moment while Drew didn't. And that knowledge gives him leverage. Powerful leverage. But Sidwell doesn't want Willow destroyed. Quite the opposite. He needs her exactly where she is. Strong, respected, untouchable. Because as long as Willow maintains that image, she can be useful. Which means a scandal like this would be a disaster for Sidwell as well. And that brings us to the most dangerous question of all. What happens when Willow finally goes to Sidwell and tells him everything Brennan is threatening? Because if Sidwell decides Brennan is becoming a problem, there is only one solution someone like him believes in. Eliminate the problems. Permanently. And if that happens, Port Charles could be heading straight toward another shocking crime. But there's something even more unsettling about this situation. Because Willow might not just accept Sidwell's help. She might ask for it. And once that door opens, there may be no closing it again. But as this dangerous game unfolds, another player may soon enter the board. Someone who also has a reason to want Jack Brennan gone. And when that name enters the picture, the stakes will rise even higher. Because in Port Charles, secrets rarely stay buried for long. And the next secret about to surface could trigger something deadly. But that's where the story takes an even darker turn. Because another man may soon realize Brennan is getting dangerously close to uncovering something he shouldn't. And when that happens, Brennan's life could suddenly become expendable. And that's when things could spiral completely out of control. Jack Brennan has made powerful enemies before. But what he's walking into now might be the most dangerous situation yet. Because while Brennan believes he's the one controlling the game, he may not realize how many people are quietly planning his downfall. Right now Brennan's focus is clear. He wants Valentin Cassadine. He wants his location. And he believes Nina Reeves is the key to getting it. But what Brennan may not realize is how desperate Nina has become. The pressure on her is enormous. Every passing day without an answer from Charlotte makes Brennan more impatient. And the more impatient he becomes, the more dangerous his threats become. Nina knows exactly what he's capable of doing. She knows that if Brennan releases that traffic cam footage, Willow's entire life will collapse. And Nina cannot allow that to happen. Not after everything Willow has already endured. But the problem is, Charlotte Cassadine isn't talking. Charlotte is loyal to her father. Fiercely loyal. And getting information out of her may be nearly impossible. Which means Nina is running out of options. And when people run out of options in Port Charles, they sometimes make choices they can never take back. Meanwhile, Willow is reaching a breaking point. She has worked so hard to build a new life. To present herself as a woman who has moved beyond the darkness of the past. But the truth is still there. Hidden beneath the surface. Waiting to explode. And now Brennan is threatening to expose it. Which is why Willow may soon decide she has no choice but to turn to Sidwell. If she walks into his office and tells him everything Brennan is doing, Sidwell will understand the situation immediately. He will see the risk. And more importantly, he will see the opportunity. Because for a man like Sidwell, protecting Willow also protects his own interests. He doesn't want the public discovering her darkest secret. He doesn't want the scandal that would follow. So if Brennan is threatening that stability, Sidwell may decide Brennan needs to disappear. But Sidwell might not be the only one thinking that way. Because there is another storyline unfolding behind the scenes. One that involves a project so powerful it could reshape the balance of power in Port Charles. The Cold Fusion Project. A project connected to Ross Cullum. If Brennan starts digging too deeply into Ross's activities, he might discover something he was never supposed to see. And if Ross realizes Brennan is getting close to exposing him, Brennan suddenly becomes a liability. A very dangerous liability. Which means Ross could soon develop a powerful motive to silence him. When you look at the situation from every angle, the picture becomes terrifying. Brennan is threatening Willow. Brennan is pressuring Nina. Brennan might be investigating Ross. And Brennan may have no idea how many enemies he's creating. In a town like Port Charles, that kind of pressure can only build for so long. Eventually, something breaks. The real question is what that breaking point will look like. Will Willow beg Sidwell to handle Brennan once and for all? Will Nina try to take matters into her own hands to protect her daughter? Will Ross decide Brennan knows too much about the cold fusion project? Or will Brennan uncover the truth before any of them can act? Because if Brennan manages to expose Willow's secret first, everything could explode overnight. Her political career would crumble. Her reputation would be destroyed. Her family could be torn apart. And the truth about what happened to Drew Cain would finally come into the light. But if Brennan disappears before that truth comes out, the mystery surrounding his fate could spark an entirely new storm in Port Charles. And that storm might reveal even darker secrets hiding beneath the surface. One thing is becoming clear. Jack Brennan is standing at the center of a very dangerous web. And every thread in that web is tightening. Sooner or later, someone will make a move. And when that happens, the consequences could be deadly. So the big question now is this. Will Jack Brennan succeed in exposing Willow's secret? Or will someone decide that Brennan himself is the real problem that needs to disappear? And if he does disappear, who will be responsible? Will it be Sidwell protecting his investment? Will it be Nina protecting Willow's? Will it be Ross protecting the cold fusion project? Or could it be someone no one expects? Because in Port Charles, the most shocking twists always arrive when people feel the most desperate. And right now, desperation is everywhere. But what do you think will happen next? Will Willow turn to Sidwell and ask him to eliminate Brennan? Or will Brennan strike first and reveal the truth about the shooting? Let me know your theory in the comments below. And if you enjoy daily dramatic updates and deep dives into General Hospital's biggest secrets, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next twist in Port Charles.